is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a 3 looks, 1 palette video using the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. This is what the palette looks like. It is a typical Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It's got the velvet packaging, all one color, very simple typeface, very in line with the rest of their collection. For those of you who don't know, Norvina is actually the president of Anastasia Beverly Hills. She is the daughter of the founder, Anastasia. She does all of their product development, and she's very present on social media and definitely has her own aesthetic. She's always got like lavender hair, silver hair, pink hair. She wears a lot of pastel tones, and yeah, she definitely has her own look. So it's really cool to see her get to express that in her own palette. Obviously, because this palette's new, I am going to give you like my first impression review of it at the end of this video. And as always, what I'm going to do is add a whole bunch of timestamps in the description of this so that you can jump to the first look, the second look, the third look, whatever it is you want to see, and also one so that you could just jump to the review if you feel like that's all you have time for today, which I understand. Sometimes I'm busy too, and I just need to know, do I need this palette before I go out to Sephora? So don't worry, I've got you. There's a timestamp down below. Obviously, 3 looks takes quite a while, so I'm not going to chew your ear off before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video. But before we get started, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you don't mind, because it really helps me out and I would really appreciate it so much. And if you are new here, please take a moment to subscribe so that you can stick around for more videos in the future, because that would make my entire day, and you know, you might really enjoy it too. I mean, I'm not the best makeup artist in the entire world, but like, I'm pretty fun. So I think, I'm just saying, I don't think you'll regret it. And if you're like really into it, you could also hit the notification bell, because that'll help you know when I upload, because you never know if YouTube's gonna put it in your sub box or not. If that's enough plugging things, let's just jump in and get started on the first look. To start the first look, I am going to go straight into the color Love right here. It's kind of like a dusky rose shade on a Sigma E38 diffused crease brush. This color to be in the crease, but I also want this color to be what the rest of the look blends out into, because that's what's going to make it a little bit more interesting and not just like, what the fuck ever look we usually would do with like a goldish lid. I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit as well, but I want to keep the tones looking sort of pinkish. I'm going to go into the color Passion because it is kind of a brown, but it definitely has like a burgundy oxblood undertone, so I think it'll look nice with the pink, kind of keep it looking pink. And I'm going to place that in the crease and a little bit on the outer corner with a MAC 221S brush. For the outer excuse me. For the outer half of the mobile lid, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade Summer on a Real Techniques shading brush, and I'm going to dampen that, and I'm only going to put it like literally on the outer half, so pupil to the side. It's a very pretty gold. Once that color is placed down, I'm going to go back into Passion with the same brush and just kind of go back through the crease, make sure that it blends in with the gold, and also make sure that we didn't lose any of the impact that we created with the darker shade there by like going over it with a lighter shade and whatever, you know the deal. And on another Real Techniques brush, after cleaning it off, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the shade Dreamer and do that on the inner half. Also applying this down. I'm just going to clean up underneath the eyes with some concealer, and then we can move on to the lower lash line. So at this point, you're probably like, Nicole, this is the most boring shit I've ever seen. All right, give me a second, okay? This is not going to be the most exciting look of the bunch, but it's going to get more interesting. Just keep your pants on. I'm going to go back into the color Love on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to sweep that under my lower lash line. I'm going to keep this portion not swept. Creating like a light wash of color with that. I don't want that to be the main focus down there, but I just want the other colors to blend out into that. Next, I'm going to grab a pencil brush and a little bit of this periwinkle shade here, Soul, and then that is what I'm truly going to smoke the rest of the lash line out with. And again, what I'm doing is leaving this little portion here empty because I'm going to do something else with it shortly. And for the inner portion of the lower lash line right here, I am going to go into the shade Celestial. I'm going to use that on a pencil brush and I'm going to dampen it. And for the very inner portion of the very inner corner, I'm going to grab a little bit of Wild Child on a small brush. The type of brush really doesn't matter because we're really just dabbing only a little bit. And I'm going to use that to mesh that purpley color on the bottom lash line with the goldish color on the top and just marry them together like a happy little family. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Psychedelic Sister. That was a tongue twister. Just to add a little bit more of a punch to this look because I just feel like it's not as exciting as it could be, I'm gonna grab the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the color Catcall, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner as well and then blend it out onto the rest of the look. So like kind of like a glitter fade, if you will. Ooh, I got a little chunkiness going on in there. Stand by, I gotta fix that. That's what happens when your eyelids are wrinkly. We're gonna go ahead and finish the other eye, pop some lashes on, and then move on to the lips. All right, I think the thing that we need to bring this simple yet fun and purpley but still pretty neutral eye look to life is like a berry metallic lip. So I'm gonna fill in the outer portions and then just kind of blend it toward the center. And to fill that in, I'm going to use a Smashbox liquid lipstick in the color So Jelly. And that is the first look. After playing with this palette a little bit yesterday, I have learned my lesson and chosen not to conceal underneath my eyes just yet. We live and we learn. For this look, I'm going to create a little bit of a different shape, but I still want to put a little bit of like a normal shape through the crease using a transition shade just to give my eyelids a little bit of shape. If you have a very defined crease or like just one of those like really beautiful eyelids that doesn't need any help, then feel free to skip this part, but just know if you got dough lids like me, this part helps. So I'm going to define the crease to begin with a little bit of the color Incense. This is a BH number 5 brush and I'm tapping off the excess because these pack a lot of power. Just for comparison's sake, just look at the difference between my two lids right now. Like that actually looks like I have a lid and this one just looks like a flat blob. Next, I'm going to the color Soul. This time on a BH number 7 brush, which is just a little bit smaller. And for this look, I'm going to create a little bit of a different shape, a little bit less conventional than the shape that we usually create, but it all kind of comes together and balances nicely, so stick with me through. I'm going to start by placing that brush kind of in like where my inner corner meets my nose. And I'm going to soften the edges of that with a clean brush. I'm going to go into the color Base, which is like a bone white. If your skin is darker than mine, you can choose one of the other matte shades that would be more appropriate to be like closer to your skin tone. But basically, I'm just looking to set it with something that's pretty neutral just to have some shadow there so it's not bare, but I don't want it to like take up any real estate. On the same BH number 7 brush that I used earlier, I'm going to go into the color Celestial. I cleaned this off in between, just FYI. And I'm going to put a little bit of Celestial over the center part of where we put down Soul. All right, so now that we've got this little bit of pop of color on the inner portion of the crease, we need to balance out the outer corner because otherwise it makes our eyes look like they're coming in like this and we don't want that. That's not cute. So we're gonna do a nice thick black wing but we're gonna taper it so it's not too thick on the inner corner. To brighten up the waterline, I'm going to go through with the Tarte Fake Awake pencil. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the color Love on the same BH number 7. This is 7. I almost said 6. And run it underneath my lash line. And to just define the outer portion of the lower lash line a little further and kind of bring that into the shape of the wing, pick up a push liner brush. This is just a NARS one. And a little bit of the color Passion, and I'm going to just press that into the outer corner. So I'm going to go into the color Wild Child on a pencil brush. I'm just going to pop that where the purple ends right here. So as it stands, this look is a little bit different, but still super, super wearable. So you can totally leave it here and just put on lashes or mascara, whatever you want, and it would be, I think, pretty fun and interesting and a little bit of a different way to wear a purple on your eye without being really over the top. But to make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more interesting, I want to take a little bit of inspiration from the looks that Alyssa Marie Artistry created on Norvina herself for the campaign photos. And to do that, I'm going to add some small purple polka dots just over the end of the wing. They did it with the purple lipstick that came out with this collection. I did not purchase that, but I do have this. This is the NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner in the color Vivid Blossom. I'm just gonna add some mascara and lashes and we'll move on to the lips. I went ahead and used the Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof Mascara and the House of Lashes Juliet lashes. For the lips, I'm going to start with the NABLA Velvet Lip Pencil in the color Rosy Magnolia, and I'm going to fill the entire lip. I really like the formula of the NABLA lip pencils, and this color is like a really great My Lips But Better color for me. I love the way it looks when people wear just like a gloss with nothing underneath it, but I also feel like my lips lack definition when I do that, and so I like to put a My Lips But Better color underneath to kind of get the same effect, but also to give them a little bit of definition along the way. And to kind of pull that together and be a little bit matchy-matchy without being like too matchy-matchy with the eye, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Gloss in the color Candy Flip. And that's the second look. Okay, this look is going to be the most classic and like least unique, least colorful of the bunch. I want to use the more neutral colors that are in the palette to kind of show the versatility of how the palette can be used. So here we go. For a transition, not quite a transition, but kind of a transition shade, I'm going to use the color Eccentric on a Sigma E38 diffused crease brush. I'm going to put that through the entirety of the crease to define it and then blend it out softly. Next, I'm going to go into the color Passion on a BH number 7 brush, and I'm going to use that to deepen the outer and inner portion of the crease and also the outer and inner portions of the lid. Again, getting some fallout, but nothing intense, just enough to notice it. Next, I'm going to go onto the center of the lid with the color Drama. I'm going to use that on a Real Techniques shader brush, and I'm going to dampen it. And I'm going to put that on the center of the lid, but not in the very center, so just like the outer portions of the center. And on the center of the center, I'm going to use another clean Real Techniques shading brush and the color Rose Gold. This one seems very, very soft in the pan. When I dipped the brush in, a lot of the product came loose. It didn't like spill everywhere. It went right back into the pan just out of luck, but I could see how that could have gotten very messy. Wet this a little bit with some Fix Plus as well. Also, Drama gave a lot of fallout, even though I tapped it off and wet it. Ooh, but Rose Gold is a color. Oh my lord. I'm going to take the brush that I used to apply Drama and just tap that over the edge of Rose Gold to blend those two together, just ever so gently. And for some added brightness just on the very center of that, I'm going to pick up a BH number 9 brush and a little bit of the color Dazzling. And I don't want a ton of this, so I'm not going to wet it, but I'm just going to pop it right in the center just to brighten the very, very, very highest point of where I put that Rose Gold. Wow, that looks really pretty. Fuck, that's pretty. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with the color Eccentric again, this time on a pencil brush. I'm going to smoke that lower lash line with it and connect it into where we place that color on the top. For my waterline and also for my tight line, I am going to go through with a black liner. This is the Anastasia gel pencil in the color Dark Side. And now that the waterline is good and dark, I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line a little bit darker by going into the color Passion again. This time I'm going to do it on a smaller pencil brush. This is a Makeup Geek pencil brush. It's the smallest pencil brush I own. Smallest pencil brush I know of, to be honest. I'm going to place that on the outer portion of the lower lash line and connect that into the darker shades on the top. And I like the overall sultry smokiness of this, but I do feel like I need a little bit, just a touch of brightness on the inner corner. So I'm going to go in with the shade Dreamer on another clean pencil brush. And just a little bit on the inner corner, keeping it mostly to the lower portion. Okay, for this look, I used the House of Lashes Allura Light Lash. Another current favorite of mine. They're so like fluffy and piecey, but like light and easy to wear. I love them. I love them. For the lips, I'm going to use another one of the NABLA lip pencils, this time in the shade Body Language. If you guys follow me on Instagram, if you watch my Instagram stories, you know that I have been loving this color lately. I'm obsessed with this lip. I'm obsessed with this lip color. In love. And this is the third and final look. Alright, so after doing 3 looks with this palette, I have my thoughts formulated. They are formulated as much as they're going to be. As far as the color selection in this palette is concerned, which is something I heard a lot of people talking about on the internet, saying that maybe it's not the most exciting palette in the world and they want a full color palette of rainbow colors and they wish that's what Anastasia would come out with. If that's what you're looking for, you're not going to be satisfied with this palette. It's definitely on the neutrals with a hint of color side. But that being said, personally, in my opinion, I think that appeals to more people across the board. The average consumer, your everyday person who is going out and shopping for makeup is probably going to relate to this palette a little bit more. So if you're somebody who is looking for a palette that has some interesting shades in it, but you could definitely still do a mostly neutral look, a la this, then I think you'll really like the color layout of this palette. Very, very pigmented, and the shimmer shades are very, very soft. So you get a lot of fallout and a lot of kickback in the pan, but they blend beautifully. The pigmentation is really rich, so you can get a really, really nice look out of it. But you will probably have to deal with all those little things along the way and just be aware of them, because if fallout annoys you, you're gonna have to deal with that. If kickback in the pan annoys you, you're gonna have to deal with that. To me, those things are not deal breakers, but they are something that I like to know before I have a palette in my little paws. Something that surprised me while working with this palette is that Soul, while it looks like a matte shade in the pan, it looks like a matte periwinkle, it actually has kind of a satin finish to it, which is fine and it looked really nice, but I would not be thrilled with that if I was using it and expecting a matte and expecting it to behave in a way where it was going to like deepen a crease or something like that. So just know that Soul, while it kind of looks like a matte shade, it's not quite. Funny enough, my favorite shade in this whole palette is actually rose gold, which you would think is like the most boring choice in the world, but it's really hard to find a shade like that that's kind of stand out because there's so many shades that are similar to that, but it really is very, very pretty. Like, it's especially beautiful for sure. I also really like the inclusion of the more mustardy neutral tones down here. I didn't actually get a chance to use Volatile, which is one of the more cool neutrals, but the rest of them performed really, really well. I really liked the way that they went on, the way they blended out. Like I said, there was some fallout, especially with the darker shades, but that just is what it is. Overall, I like this palette a lot. I think it's very, very appropriate for Norvina's aesthetic. Personally, I think that if you like the arrangement of colors, you're not going to be disappointed with this palette at all. Hey you guys, it's Nicole from the future, and I just wanted to pop in here real quick and add a little something to my final assessment and review of this Norvina palette. I was just sitting down to finish up the edit and I was scrolling through Twitter and I noticed that a lot of people were talking about the Norvina palette and saying that some of them were having issues with the blending, and other people seemed to have the same experience as I did, where they didn't really experience any issues at all. But because of that, I wanted to pop on here and let you know, because I did like it. I wanted to mention that it seems like there might be some inconsistencies between the palettes in the quality of them. So I didn't want to just leave it at me saying full on like, oh, if you like the colors, you're totally gonna like this palette, and then have you guys go out and like get one of the fucked up ones and be like, Nicole, you've lost your mind. So I just wanted to make mention of that. It seems like there may be some inconsistencies. So I don't know, maybe buy it in person if you can, but even then you can't really swatch it. Maybe it's a good idea to get it somewhere that has a really good return policy, like Sephora or Ulta or somewhere like that. I just felt like it was only fair to pop on here and let you guys know that I did read that, because I know not everybody scrolls makeup at Twitter all day long like I do. So yeah, that's what's up. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew. I still thought mine performed just fine, but some people do seem to be having issues. Oh, and one other thing that I want to note, I always say this with the Anastasia packaging, they look gorgeous when you receive them. They are absolutely stunning and soft and beautiful, but this shit gets dirty so fast. That is one thing that annoys the hell out of me with these types of palettes, because they're really pretty, and then you put them in your makeup bag, get a little crumb of lip liner on there, and you can't clean it because it's like velvety, and it's just, once you get it dirty, there is no going back. So that always drives me nuts. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm just saying, I'm a little bit of a clean freak, okay? That is pretty much all I have to say about this palette. I mean, I think that the three looks kind of speak for themselves. You could form your own opinions. You can feel free to also leave me a comment about those opinions down below. I would love to hear what you think. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or you found it helpful, because it really helps me out and I would super appreciate it. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I would love to have you stick around for future videos. If you think you may miss me between videos, then go ahead and follow me on social media. I'm at Ms. Quinn Face pretty much across the board. The place that you'll find me most often is Instagram, though. I post a lot of my Instagram stories. I do all my PR unboxings on there, just a little behind the scenes, day-to-day sneak previews. And on Instagram itself, I like to post more creative looks. I like to post the high-def photos of the stuff that I do here on this channel, lip art, all sorts of things. So come find me over there. I'm at Ms. Quinn Face, and I would love to have you part of the Instagram fam as well. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.